almost 9,000 square feet of freehold land in prime Katong area.
1 bungalow, 2 semi-detached, 1 single title, or 2 separate titles.
Stay, rent, or redevelop either one house or both houses. You have endless possibilities.
Stay tuned to find out more about this very rare lender gem in Singapore in this episode of Huttons Lender Division's
Live Open House.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Willie from Huttons Lender Division. Did the introduction just now confuse you, right, in terms of the number of possibilities I think that the house we're going to showcase together has projected? I think rightly so, right? Because I think today the house we're going to show is very unique because it occupies, firstly, of course, almost 9,000 square feet of freehold land. What is unique is that it actually spreads across there's actually 2 houses now, 2 semi-detached, and the difference is you can, unlike many houses, they are side by side. Both are actually owned by the same owner. So 2 titles, same owner that can be amalgamated into 1 title. Henceforth, all the basically various options that we mentioned earlier. And to explain the more complex and give a very comprehensive so-called overview of this property and the possibilities, I have today Justin, our District 15 IC, and of course Tina and Celeste, both are very familiar faces among a lot of the residents in Katong. They're not just active in District 15 but in Katong itself. In fact, Justin and the team have actually sold 4 houses in the last 6 months alone. There's a terrace, 2 semi-detached and a detached just in the last 4 months. So I think they're the best person here, I think, to give us the overview that you audience will need. All right. So Justin, maybe we'll start first. Given this the popularity, we all keep saying that Katong is popular, the prices are high. Maybe we can share what are some of the so-called most recent indicators. Are prices still high? Even, let's say, for example, after the pandemic and recent years?
I will let the ladies go first.
Yeah, okay.
To understand the rarity of Katong,
Yes.
one has to take a look into the statistics of District 15 in the last 1 year.
Yeah.
If you follow the trend, you'll
Yes.
realize that the 3rd quarter of 2023, District 15 saw a rise, a
That
huge
was the last
jump.
record,
yes,
right?
a record high. And after that, there was the subsequent 2 quarters didn't perform so well. There was a slight dip in it. But once again, the 2nd quarter in 2024 has crossed the 2,000 per square foot mark once again, which is, which clearly shows why
It's
Katong
the
is
quarter
so
that
much
just
in
passed.
demand.
We just at the beginning of quarter 3. So that's total District 15. So you can see has rebounded back to cross the 2,000 per square feet again. How about detached? Since now we are focusing on the detached
Yes,
house.
so for detached houses, there actually was a peak in the 1st quarter of 2023. Yes, and then it had a slight dip but rebounded to an even higher peak in the 2nd quarter of 2024. Yes.
So unlike District 15, this peak now is actually a new record.
Yeah,
right?
it
It's a
crossed
new
the
record.
2,000 PSF
So
mark.
the more expensive
That's nice.
properties gets even so-called higher, all right,
Yeah.
higher record of PSF. Okay, but that's for detached houses. But again, if let's say our viewers are not as, because we're still talking about detached in total District 15. How about just in Katong? Do you have any statistics to show us, Justin?
Katong being the nothing that is, people always say,
Yes.
call
Yeah.
it, right?
Yes.
So the 2 ladies actually has shown the whole, like what Willie has mentioned,
Yes.
the whole District 15 versus, and also the quarter numbers.
Yes.
What I'm going to show you, I'm going to dive in a little bit, like go zoom in a little bit to on Katong specific.
Yes.
And
Okay.
compare to the whole District 15 and how is it performed? Why is it so rare and exclusive? right? For Katong, the whole 2023, the latest 1 full year, the whole entire average price that was for the whole entire District 15 is actually at 6.53 million, versus Katong is at 11.79 million, which is a 81% higher compared to the whole
Increase,
entire District
yes.
15, which is very impressive.
Yes, correct. But usually for larger houses, the people expect the PSF, right, so per square feet to be lower.
Yes.
Is that the case for Katong as well?
Yeah. Yes, but when I say yes, but it's not the case. Actually,
Oh, still.
actually for Katong, yeah. So for Katong, actually, the PSF is actually higher. Katong average PSF or detached in Katong is at 2324. Versus that the entire District 15 is actually at 1874, which is a 24%.
24% higher
Okay.
premium. Okay, so you can see in terms of both quantum and PSF, Katong prices are higher. Right. So for I think viewers out there now, you can really see these are numbers that really justify. But if we were to again be more relevant, right, in today's house, today we are looking at 9,000 square feet. So if you look at just detached houses, there are more than 8,000 square feet left, which are again really the creme de la creme, even within Katong itself. You can see that actually the last transactions recorded, there were only 2, right, out of almost 20 over the transactions in 2022. Makes up only about 6.7%, all right, only to the transacted price is slightly above 1,009. And there were no such transactions in 2023 because last year, do you remember we were looking for such houses for our buyers? We really couldn't find because nobody was selling. And then this year, one surfaced again. Right? It's a large plot, more than 13,000, and it's one out of only 15 detached transactions. So that percentage have now actually increased to only 7.4%, makes things even more rare, so to speak. Right? And the PSM now is almost $2,002 per square feet. In just a span of 2 years, the PSF has increased by almost 15%, right? All the statistics we have shown, I think, is sufficient to show, I think, the price resistance, okay, of houses, not just in District 15, but not just detached houses, not just Katong houses, but actually large detached houses within Katong. I think these are very clear and evident of, I think, the popularity of houses in this area, in this Katong, right? But talking about which, but why do people like to move to Katong so much? We keep saying there's a shortage in terms of, I mean, there's imbalance of supply and demand. What are some of the reasons? So if you look at the map here, I think it's very clear that Katong is the part of District 15 that's the closest to city centre as well as to the beach. Two very sought after and popular destinations for both work and for leisure.
Yeah, that's the reason why a lot of people are inspired to stay here at Katong.
Yeah.
And the other reason when we talk about exclusive and rarity is because of Katong is the only zoning that is only for bungalows and semi-D.
Yeah, correct. Which means actually you look at the map, it's actually a huge area that it occupies. But in terms of density-wise, it's much less, right, compared to other areas.
So, speaking of, I mean, it's so exclusive, yet it is so connected. You just stroll down to Tanjong
Exactly.
Katong and you have a bunch of eateries you can choose from, whether it's cafes to bars to pubs.
True. You rarely
know,
get this mix of both exclusivity and convenience at the same
Yes,
time.
and
right?
even, you know, like, I mean, Justin mentioned the last time there's fresh produce that is
Yes.
at your fingertips. You
Yes.
It's true.
You can go down and choose your own
I
food.
think, it's very rare for a landed enclave to be connected to not one but 2 MRT stations. We have the
yeah, that's
Dakota Circle Line and the Tanjong Katong MRT, which is the Thomson East Coast Line.
They just opened last week, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
so
Coincidentally.
exciting. Yeah.
So actually for the MRT, I'm yet to go, but I will be heading down too, for sure, to
Yeah.
take a look.
I think we are also, I think all of you are serving also a lot of parents as well because the proximity
Correct.
to schools. I think we are within 1 kilometer here,
Yes,
right?
to,
From Goodman to 6 schools, right?
But for primary schools, 2 very prestigious primary schools. We have the Kong Hwa School and the Tanjong Katong Primary School.
Yeah. And if you were to drive,
I think driving makes this location very desirable because if you take the highway out of Goodman, you'll see that, you know, you're at Suntec City in less than 10 minutes and even CBD or Marina Bay Sands as well is very, very accessible.
and going northwards, you reach the Paya Lebar commercial hub. So the PLQ, Singapore Centre, etc.
I think
Yes.
there's so much to do
Exactly.
there.
And towards the east, of course. When you go
Yeah.
to the airport, it's a mere maybe 12 to 15 minutes drive.
Not only
Yeah.
that, I mean, even I-12 Katong and
Yes.
Parkway Parade are a stone's throw away. You
right.
just drive down in 5 minutes and you're there.
That's right.
So you have convenience at your fingertips in this locality.
Great. after understanding, I think, the many reasons why so many people aspire to live in Katong, right? But given the very unique, I think, this conditions of this house, which is actually now 2 houses, 2 semi-detached, 2 titles, but can be amalgamated into 1 title. Now, this really opens up, the possibilities of, and also the appeal to different groups of buyers out there.
Yes,
So, what do you think will be the type of buyers? Think of those that you are serving now. Do you think 9,000 square feet is too big for most to stomach?
No, actually, we have a very niche group of buyers that are looking for big plots of land just to redevelop into one majestic, beautiful detached house like this. And you will be the prime envy of the whole entire Katong area.
That's right, you can park more than 8 cars, 10 cars.
Yes.
Exactly.
So actually for me, I've also serving a buyers which actually wanted to have 1 title, but 1 title, but 2 buildings. So
two
which
buildings,
means,
okay.
yes, very interestingly, because actually we have families, multi-generation, but they wanted to have their own spaces. So that's why they want to stay close to each other, but not too close on the same building.
Yeah,
So
they can
this
afford to,
appeals.
but one thing they can't, which a lot of affluent people, they don't have the name, right?
Yeah,
So they don't
the
avoid the
ABSD.
ABSD.
Yes.
So you can see this building now, you can own 1 title, amalgamated, remove the fence, own 2 buildings, you have the privacy.
That's
And
right.
saving you, I think, that one name, very precious ABSD. And you don't need, either not need to sell your current house, or you free up one name to actually go for another investment in the future. Right?
In my case, I mean, I am serving buyers who are looking for houses close by.
Okay.
We have brothers who wanted to stay next to each other, which is really, really hard to find. I mean, you really can't have 2 houses selling at the same time. It's very rare. So it totally works when 2 families want to stay together, yet stay apart.
Although
Yes.
within the
You
same
know?
family, husband and wife, right? Now we
Right.
come across a lot of affluent so-called couples, husband and wife wants to own 2 properties, but side by side.
Yes.
So how often does this come? So this property allows them for them to do so. Each of them will have 1 name, and yet there are 2 properties.
And they can also
right?
put the other house on rent.
Yeah, that's true.
Or, or even, stay in one and build the other.
Yes. You can even
Right.
buy one under a
Yes.
parent's name and a child's
Yes.
name, and then you can oversee the
And
other
they-
one.
Yes, they can overlook, I mean, someone who is very particular with attention to detail, or
Yes.
meticulous about how they want their house built. They can, I mean, it'll be building right under their nose.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So that's very helpful. as
Yes.
well.
So I think staying one, rebuilding around, you can of course also choose to rebuild, right, both properties. We have a lot of so-called very entrepreneurial owners who are thinking of becoming, mini developers themselves. Now you can have this opportunity. You buy, it might be too big for you. You just have to stay in one, sell the other one, and use the proceeds to subsidize, I think, the bulk of
Yes.
this purchase. Or alternatively, of course, like what we all said earlier, the different profiles. You can choose to rebuild both into 2 semi-Ds, and then choose to occupy both, right? The 2 families, the 2 families, it could be what you're saying, siblings, right, brothers,
Yes.
or even 2 friends who aspire, children who studies nearby, their childhood friends.
Business partner.
Like we say, it's very rare to find a nice plot here. So I think for even non-related so-called individuals coming together to build this house together and then share, right, each of them being the cost and achieving economies of scale, I think that will be a very viable plan as well.
Yes.
So I think now you have seen, I think the list could go on, right? So if you start to basically combine the different types of possibilities together, hence we said at the beginning, this is really one house that really has endless so-called list of possibilities and the buyer profile. So we hope you out there, I think one of these are taking for you, not start to find basically your friends or relatives who start to look at this. All right. But besides redeveloping, let's not forget now we are sitting on is the nice the garden, elevated garden of very 2 beautiful houses already. In fact, most of you, I'm quite sure out there, will want to retain the house that is before you start to think of any future development plans, right? Of which, let's also don't forget that I think now a lot of owners now they want to future-proof, their plans. They may not need a bigger house now, so a house like this with 6+1 rooms, 4,200 square feet may be sufficient,
Yes.
right? The thing is you hold it first in future, then you can start to decide what you want to do with the other.
Yes.
Right. To make this decision, maybe I think the best way is for us to start to show you the inside of this
Yes.
very, very charming semi-D. This is one of the 2. The other one is tenanted now, but they are mirror image, but giving you a very comprehensive tour later. I think will give you a very good idea. Right. So shall we
Excited.
take a look at the
Yes.
house? Now, finally, we're ready to show you the house. But before we go in, I think there's something that I have to really share with. I think Tina and I was always talking when we drove past here. Of course, we forget to know the owners. I always wonder who is staying inside this house. Who had the idea to design this? Because if you know both of us, we're a bit more also. We like things that are more classic, more timeless, and something like this. We call this the red brick house, right? You can Google it. Lots of inspirations around the world. Okay, these are some that you can see right on the screens here. And the thing is, they are disappearing by the. In fact, frankly, this is the only one that we can see in Katong already. So when we drove past it, I thought, oh, who's staying inside? And finally, now listen, and now later we can start to really appreciate, because I think using bricks, this is a very sturdy building material. The problem is so laborious that people don't do this now. In fact, when the owner built this house in 1999, the bricks, do you know, they were all imported. All imported. You could see there were some technical terms that frankly, I was surprised when I hear, like in terms of the intensity of the color, I think the density of the material, so they can stand the test of time. And 20 plus years have passed, and you can see, of course, there's no washing, whatever that's needed is really, really very well kept. So
I think when we look at such a structure, you are transported into an era where this was common.
Yes.
But day by day, and with the modernization, the way Singapore is redeveloping, and you know, all things are going out of commission.
Correct.
This home, you can see, is so beautiful. I think
the wall just runs throughout. I like the fact this is not just a semi-D, this is actually two houses retaining the same
Do you
concept.
know that the frontage of both of them combined is 19.7?
Yes, almost 20 meters, and you can feel like we're now standing in the middle now. All right.
And each of them is 9.8 meters wide.
Yes, around that.
So that's a pretty wide frontage.
The width of 40 meters. So the plots behind us now, what you can't see, you can see from the aerial view, is actually a very nice, perfect rectangle that faces north. We need to emphasize this, and it gets more evident as we go inside later, right?
I think the facing of the north also allows north-south wind to pass through.
Correct.
So you have a pretty breezy home throughout the day.
One of the selling point of basically houses in the Katong area. One thing that this house has, or in this street at Goodman Road, is that you can notice that we have, besides I think the additional privacy, by the way, the entire house is raised. Both plots are raised so that now you can see, we can't see inside at all, even if we're just standing here. They don't need huge walls, to be honest. This is quite low, but with just your iron grills and some plants, you already have the kind of privacy that a lot of landed houses don't, in a sense.
Plus, I think
and this
the
walkway
lack
as well.
of a wall allows you to have
more ventilation.
A very breezy home.
Exactly. Where we are standing out, you can see this is a very wide walkway, in a sense, done by the government, in a sense. So, and of course, with the trees outside.
Is completely covered.
Correct. This makes this walk, this part of Goodman, I think, a lot more pleasant, so to speak. Right. It helps to also complement this house design as well. So from here, you start to enter this gate, and notice this is quite wide. You were saying, Tina, it's about 3.6 meters.
Yes.
All right.
I think the
elevation.
The elevation and the slope up also gives you privacy.
Correct.
You can park 3 cars over here comfortably, and 2 will be sheltered. Also, you don't have to worry about the cars passing by and looking into your home because it's so raised up.
Yeah. I just like houses that has a certain elevated feel. You know, as you walk up, you feel this additional grandeur. Right. Although it has a very classy feel, it's like a has a certain entering a part of history, something like a small little castle. Yes,
absolutely timeless.
So you step up here, the view. Can you see now? We're not elevated. We're very far away. Because the setback actually from the main gate to this building, the wall here, is actually 12 meters. The usual one is about 7.5. With the additional 5 meters, you can get the additional so-called privacy and, of course, the space, which we're going to show you later, right? But you know, Tina, one thing that's good, before we show the garden, if you start to turn around, we also have this one, money come by, right? Because it depends on your neighbor. The neighbor has an equally, if not, in fact, it's a larger, nice, beautiful garden here. I think a lot of landed owners overemphasize the need for privacy. They build such big walls, etc. I think the key is who's your neighbor.
Absolutely.
So in this case, I think
no
just
matter
the wire
what you
fence
do, you
is
can't
really
buy
nice.
that.
Yeah, exactly. So they have kept this simple fence, I think, for the last 20 over years because they're a very nice neighbor here. So you get to also enjoy the greenery that you see on this side, right? So if you turn around, you start to see, get a lot closer to the iconic architecture. Wow, now you can really feel and touch this in person. It's a bit surreal, right? You can see the condition materials are really in tip-top condition. But of course, a lot of this owners have spent a lot of effort in maintaining.
Are you seeing the how beautifully and systematically
Yes.
each brick has been placed?
Yeah.
It totally looks like it's machine made.
Yes, and it's
Like-
all labor. Yeah,
Yeah.
each brick was
It's-
done and it's very, very well maintained. But I particularly like the shape. It makes this place a bit more classic, a bit more
Yes, it brings out
Yeah.
the beauty of it.
exactly a certain character. And this is also brought towards the back. We won't show you walk through the end, but one thing you notice here, owners of course have done one whole row of greenery, landscaping here. A few steps up, I like this small little cute gate for either for children, for privacy, for your dogs, for example, which the owner has one. So what you get is, all these windows peeping out, right? Peeping out. Later we will show you more because behind this actually hides a small little courtyard, which is really, really charming. Yeah, in a sense. And talking about small little cute spaces, Tina, you like the
Yes.
front porch a lot.
I
you
would
said.
love this, and
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to sit here and show our viewers
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
house. Because I mean, I firstly like the fact that we are climbing up into your home. It feels like
Further?
okay,
Yes,
I'm
true.
yes, I'm going into higher ground, and makes me feel okay, like I'm entering
Yeah.
something so beautiful
True,
and majestic.
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
It gives a bird's eye view of the entire compound. Can you see
Exactly.
now? You feel a lot higher than the road in front, and of
Yes.
course, you have a spectacular view of the garden in
and
front
you
of you.
never have to worry about cars passing by, looking into your
Yes,
home. That's not
yeah.
even an option
Yeah.
because there's trees. You're so much higher.
Yes, it's
I
true.
mean, it's
It's
so
true.
nice. You have privacy,
Yes.
but you don't have to build those giant
Yes.
walls.
I understand the first time when I first came here, I said, why are there chairs outside? Now I understand, because when you're in this position, let's sit down and try to enjoy. I can understand why it would be, because usually landed homeowners want to keep
Yeah.
everything indoors.
Yes.
But to have this, of course, it's really sheltered, right? But I
You
think
can enjoy the rain.
nice, yes. You don't have, it's not so harsh the weather, you get the wind and then seeing the garden inside and having a cup of tea,
Yeah. And
wine,
I'd never
coffee,
change
etc.
that garden.
Yeah. This is
So
really nice.
beautiful.
Yeah. I think the experience, I really hope you can be here now, the experience what I'm seeing. And just like, the doors here, this is one thing that I think Tina caught your eye as well, right? The
Yes.
doors are particularly
the
big.
doors are so huge, and you don't feel like, normally landed homes have the one big door and the one tiny
smaller,
door on
small
the
panel,
side.
so to speak.
yes?
Yes, or sliding doors. right?
Yeah, I feel
it's
that
really
this
very
is
classic.
it's so grand. It's so I don't know, majestic, magnificent. It gives a view of okay, I'm entering a very palatial place.
That's true. But yet
So-
cozy. Right? Yeah, you
Yes.
still cozy, very classic.
And they
English
are
kind of
all
feel.
in sync. If you
Yes,
see,
very
if
symmetrical.
you observe the windows and even the top windows above
Yeah.
the door, they are all in sync. They're all like, as you mentioned,
Very
symmetrical.
symmetrical. I
So-
think the design language outside, inside is very consistent.
Yes.
Later we'll show you. Yeah. So now let's take a closer look at the garden. Again, we are just now at half the plot, one plot of the two plots, so to speak. So here, good things they not erect a wall, and you could have a good view of what the other neighbor, which is now tenanted. There's actually a pool deck, a very large pool deck. Can you see here? On this side. So remember we said that we could remove this. Imagine it's one family, two titles, or even one title. You have your own privacy. But if this gate or this wall is removed, you actually have a shed wall, shed compound, which is really, really big.
Yes.
So you have a garden here and you have the pool on this side.
So you also tend to keep
Yeah.
your pool,
Yes.
which you would love to take
Yes.
a dip in, and
Correct.
my garden, because I mean,
This
I
tree
just
will be
love
mine for
plants.
sure. Yeah, this tree is excellent. I think the way it's positioned here. Usually I'll ask you what you want to do to change the place, but I know, Tina, you love gardens,
I
so
love- I
you'll
love
keep it the way it
plants.
is.
Yes,
No?
I think it's so nice to be able to have a green space and not worry about compromising. I mean, yet not cluttering the whole thing.
That's
you can
true.
have it in one corner, and there's so much outdoor space with
Yeah.
the dog. Your dog can just lounge on the lawn.
I think gardens are disappearing by the day. It's one of the common so-called complaints or regrets that a lot of landed owners have as they maximizes the built-up. They sacrifice actually open space like this,
Yes.
open space like this. And frankly, I think a proper landed property, if you have a
Should have
garden,
a garden.
makes it a lot more pleasant. Plus with the pool and all this as well. Yeah,
Even
but
the
of course-
courtyard that they
Yes.
have made it a point
Yes,
to
it's
have it
true.
a very wide courtyard.
That's
It's
true.
nice
That's
because
true.
you don't get that all the
Yes,
time.
true. Yeah, but all this, of course, comes with, it doesn't come with maybe, I don't know, 2,000 square feet house, etc. This is almost, it's 4,450 square feet of land. And this it actually allows you to have a very, very wide, we talked about this just now, it's about 12 meters, okay?
Yeah.
7.5, which means actually if should you need to create more space or more enclosed space, this can be pushed out to this
All the
line.
way here.
Yeah, all the way here, should you need to. Maybe just another enclosure or maybe bring the door out without changing the architecture.
Yeah.
Or if you want to regularize the look and make it a bit more modernized, then actually there's a lot more outdoor space that can be converted to indoor space as well.
Even putting a few pillars with arches
Yes,
and
correct.
bringing out the whole
Shelter,
look
etc.
would add so much more outdoor space,
Yes.
yet be indoors.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I think we can
All this and
maximize
more
this.
later we'll share a few, but you know we have a soft spot for really the condition, and really soon in a couple of minutes when you're going to realize actually there's nothing much you need to do right, to transform this place, retain the way it is. How true are we? Let's go and take a look inside, right? So before I enter the door, you can also start to see even the ceilings. All these are meticulously, really well maintained as well. Not even a spot of dirt, not to mention waterproofing issue.
Yes.
Okay, so now,
Absolutely.
are you ready to go in? Let's take a look. Now we're finally inside the house. You know, Tina, I've always been admiring or wondering what is, when we see all these very, very traditional red brick houses, you know, you always wonder what is inside the house.
I
right?
know.
For once today, we had the fortune to not view and of course to show all our audience here what is inside. Now, the idea for this house, very interesting, when the owner built this, was actually to create pockets of space that's very private and very cozy, all right? So you're not going to see like very grand, because it was a small family. What they wanted is to create a lot of privacy, all right? But yet every space serves its purpose, and you have a good balance of both space and so-called coziness.
I think the idea really is to not make it look very overwhelming.
Yes, exactly.
And yet have like privacy and appreciate each
Yes.
space
Yes.
instead of just one continuous
Yes,
space.
correct. Yeah. So, so here, this is one good example. This is a very cozy living area, or what we call like a holding area if you want it. If let's say you want to create later inside to be the living room. So what we have here, I think what is beautiful is all the slanted walls that you saw outside, which makes this building very iconic. When they are now inside, you actually realize it serves a purpose as well. So
Yeah.
you have light coming from different angles, different so-called intensity as well. So it even comes across onto the side. There's windows, panels as well, so a lot of natural light and wind to come through. And what I like, very interestingly, they also have like, I call this the escape door. You know, it's like someone can just come in from this side and go straight up to the level 2 in case there's guests here, you don't want to disturb anyone, right? And you notice once I open this up, you see a lot more natural light coming in.
I like the design of the French windows.
Yes.
It's so cute and it's got its own style. It's very quaint, it's very European. And also the door, it's a very wide door. So if you see, I mean, it's so welcoming, so inviting, which is not standard in normal landed doors. You
That's
see
true.
one big and one tiny one on the
Yeah,
side.
that's true. Yeah.
Whereas this is two huge ones, and it adds so much character.
Yeah.
Plus the white blends in, you know, all the windows, doors.
It
all
really
that.
shows how meticulous the owner is.
Yes.
You know, it really preserving, I think, the unique character, I think, of the entire architecture and the design scheme. So everything is wide on that side. So it gives the whole place, I think, a very consistent look, so to speak. Right. What is also consistent with the very European concept are these beautiful tiles. You notice, right? These are all European imported. They are very hardy, not that they will break, but if you do, it's impossible to replace them now. Okay, so it's all these little quaint little
But you
designs
can
by the
see
side.
that I think the old world
Yes,
charm
yes.
and you know, like fixtures and fittings
Yes,
from
it's true.
decades ago
Yeah.
tend to
From
be
the ceiling
more
light, all this.
long-lasting than the
That's true.
modern ones.
That's true.
I mean, I
Right.
cannot feel it dusty on my feet as well. So
It's beautiful texture
yes,
in that
it's
sense.
just gorgeous.
So you turn around now, you can see the nice big hallway here, right? This is a lot wider than a lot of hallways that we see. It's more than 2 meters wide. Purpose of this is to segregate the different spaces. Later I will show you, all right? But I think also this helps to accentuate the high ceiling. The ceiling height here is about 3 meters, Okay, so gives it just a good balance, very modest, but I think in spaciousness as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And look at this cute arch over here.
What is this here? I think later maybe Justin and Celeste will show us what this arc is about. It's again part of the whole design architecture scheme. All right, talk about functionality, by the way, the house is filled and designed with that. Not only do they have one, you can take a look,
But
there's actually
two
two storage area here to make use under the staircase. All right, so this can help to keep your place clutter-free. Idea here, then you can use this long hallway here. You can put sideboards like this. You can put a small study table. You can put a lot of the collectibles that you have amassed
Even your
over
art
the years.
and everything. It could be such a decorative
Yes,
hallway.
exactly. So for guests who are just there, I think the whole idea is to let them stay here. This becomes a bit of a unofficial, like a private space moving here onwards. Because from here you will have bedrooms and of course the living area. Talking about bedrooms, remember we said that this house has not one but two master bedrooms, right? Two master bedrooms, not very common. This is ideal for really if you have parents or if you're elderly folk who needs to have a ground floor, big size rooms, which was the original intent of the owners here when they want a two-generation living. So they actually created and built specifically a very nice big master bedroom here. You can take a look. Once you come in, without me describing, you can feel the expansiveness of the space. This is more than 300 square feet, right? Almost the size of two condo rooms down.
Common rooms, definitely.
It's evident. You can put two king, queen size bed on both sides. Obviously now it's not occupied, but you can imagine if you were to put a bed here or there, there's a lot of space for you to create, I think, a study, TV area. It's very so-called sufficient. Right?
Even with two beds and a desk and a
we
side
still
table,
have quite a lot of space.
A huge space.
Yes,
it's
true.
not feeling cluttered.
Exactly.
Plus, you have a 6-door wardrobe.
Yeah, the wood is beautiful. Really beautiful there. It's all you can see. These are good craftsmanship from really when the house was built, right, in the 90s, so to speak. The wood. And of course, the same slanted windows, right, that we saw outside from the front is also evident here. So now this gives you a slightly different view. Later we'll show you this is a nice courtyard, very quiet because we're not facing the road. So lets in a lot of light again. Even though this is not floor to ceiling windows, which is a lot of new houses have now, I think this gives a good balance of having privacy and a lot of light because anyway there are so many panels, right? Along with the classic architecture and design scheme is basically there's also a lot of nostalgia element to this as well, right? I particularly like all these pane windows. Can you see these are in pristine condition? I don't know really how they maintain the house, but we have to really give it to the owners who maintain the place in a very, very good condition.
And it's got this gorgeous frosted glass that if you close it still brings so much natural light that you're not going to have a dark bedroom at all. And yet you don't need the floor to ceiling windows to amplify the light in the bedroom.
I think there's more nostalgic elements inside the master bathroom. Let's take a look. I think the tiles is something we have never seen before. Yeah.
At the master bathroom, you got this emerald jade green here, and it's pretty spacious. You can see that it's also very comfortable. It's got windows and there's not only natural light but ventilation, which is very important in bathrooms today. So as we step out again, we can also take one last look at this beautiful bedroom and the flooring, which is so well maintained.
Yeah, this is all marble tiles.
It's cool and keeps the room cool as well.
Yes,
isn't it?
that's right. So this room, one thing that is unique is this room can be you can remove the walls. All right, should you not need to have two bedrooms here, because now this has 2 + 1 bedrooms here.
Yes.
So for smaller families who are happy with just the 4 bedrooms upstairs
top,
and just one granny's room downstairs, can you imagine this becomes part of the enlarged official, so to speak, living area. So this wall once is down, now if you come and take a look, you can see how this hallway and the room automatically will be combined together.
Yeah, they blend into each other.
Blend in together and combined with this very open space now, which we have now styled this as a dining area. But frankly, if you look at the space, it's very squarish. There are actually a lot of possibilities, right?
Yes.
The 6-seater, 8-seater dining, even a round dining table works. But what I do like is all these walls are still untouched, very clean. What would you do with this space, Tina? I would actually, do like an island on this side that faces the beautiful courtyard.
How about a bar?
Yeah, sorry, yes, exactly, right. A bar, nice, even for just dry what do you call it, it's like a dry kitchen concept
Yes.
where you do entertainment, whether you put your
Yes.
coffee, tea, or even basically like what they say, your collectibles over the years. I think this is
there's
quite
a
nice.
lot of possibility
Yes,
here.
yeah.
And
It can also be another living room, right? This can also be another living room because again now we are facing. Let's take a
The
look at the
courtyard.
courtyard. So I don't know
we
about
can
you,
see
Tina.
it's-
This is one of my favorite spots of this place. First, from all these window panels, right? You can see it's white color. You come out
Yeah.
because the wood width here, this is about 5 meters wide. All right, they have chosen to plant all these plants here to create like a green, so-called some like a nice feature for you to look at, but also creates privacy from your neighbor. Not that you have anything to fear, because our neighbor also has a similar classic
Beautiful home,
architecture.
yes.
Beautiful. Just now we saw the garden earlier. They similarly have a nice so-called design from outside. And the space, I actually like that we are not close to the
You're
neighbor
not
at all.
close. There's a lot of width here, and you can play around with ideas. You can do outdoor seating.
Yes.
And seamlessly blend the indoor and outdoor. You know, when you're dining or you have barbecues
Yeah,
here.
that's true.
You
Yeah.
can
Small pond feature,
yes.
water feature, and again the neighbor. We have a 5 meter setback here. Neighbor is also equally quite steep set in as well. So
Yeah.
you
There's
really
a lot
feel the
of
privacy.
potential
really feel the
too.
privacy. Even though we're now featuring just one semi-detached, somehow when you step in here, you feel that this is like a detached by itself,
Yes.
right? That's nice. So as you skirt around, you can see all this beautiful brick wall. So now we're a lot closer. It feels a lot closer into your face, right? Just now, it seems like just a cladding for the exterior, but here you can really feel, touch, and feel like you're part of history, so to speak.
Yeah,
you know?
don't you feel
Yeah.
like you're stepping back into
Yeah,
the
do you remember those
1960s
primary school? You have some
or
our
80s?
schools in Singapore. They have similar window panes and stuff, and with a height that is very inviting for you to take a peep inside and see what's happening. In a
So
sense,
it's
yeah.
original red brick house.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The shelter was very useful. I will put a fan here. I think that will help. Although there's really a fan outside.
Quite windy though.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Pretty
It's
cool.
true. It's true. I'm actually quite surprised. Now with the sun, this helps to also block a lot of direct sun. So what you get is basically still, if I were to step out here, you'll feel the cross breeze of the north-south facing, the natural breeze that comes through already, right? So we said there are 2 rooms. Where is the other room? It's actually just here. It is now used mainly as a storage, all right? So, but you can take a look. This is a very comfortable granny's room. Even with all these storage pieces here, you can tell. You can put 2 single bed, queen size bed, not a problem. Importantly is that this door actually leads to the bathroom, which we will show you at the back, right? So it becomes very convenient. And behind that is where the helper's room is. So I think it's very comfortable for any elderly to stay here, to be close to the kitchen, to be close to the helper, and the yard is just here. In the A&E or renovation plan that we propose, a very simple expansion that we can do is to break this wall down, push it back. You can either enlarge the room or even create another helper's room that is closer to the granny's area, because a lot of families now, they will need 2 helpers, for instance, one to take care of the elderly exclusively. And this is your department, Tina.
Yes, I love showing kitchens of all different styles, and I love this vintage look here. What we could do is, as you enter, you see it's bright, it's spacious, it's airy, and you have enough counter space to sort of work. I mean, there's space for even a tiny dining table. But what I would do, Willie, is I'm visualizing French doors at the entrance of this.
True. So on this side, so you can have some privacy.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just in line with the French doors of
Excellent. White color ones,
yes,
right? That
don't you
opens
think
on both
it would
sides,
add
hinge on
so
both
much,
sides. Yeah.
like,
So-
I don't know.
No,
so
it
much,
separates. It's a very, very nice
Yes.
separator. Of course, you can
And
do
you
your
can,
heavy,
it could be
heavy
bifold
cooking.
doors, which
exactly.
could always open up. So if you want to open up the kitchen,
Yeah.
but I think there's so much that we could do with that.
Yes.
And-
Which brings me to a point, actually, you notice they don't need the door now. It's because this place is very well ventilated, right? The same arcs that you saw, right? The octagonal arcs that you saw here are also present here
Yeah.
as well. So when the owners were staying here for the past 20 years cooking, it's never actually affected the dining area, right?
And you don't have to worry about it being hot. And you
Yes.
see there's no fan.
Yes.
But you can feel, like you mentioned,
It's
the
true.
north-south
Yes.
breeze. I can feel it here already.
Because of
It's
this,
pretty- yes.
these are actually facing north. So you're not just facing basically the side it is, so this allows the wind to come in as well. So I thought that's really quite smart. And one thing that is noticeably missing are top hung cabinets, and I think this is one main reason why there's a lot more natural light.
Yes,
You could
absolutely.
can afford to do this because firstly there's a lot of cabinetry space. You can refresh this obviously to something of your choice, but what you could add on is there's some wall space there. You can add on some top hung cabinets. You can refresh this, and also this wall. Can you see now there's space actually
You
for
can
not
have
one,
a little pantry
two
over here.
fridge, right? Two fridge here. Like I say, if I were to do a dry kitchen or a pantry, I could put it there. Then you have more space on this side, or even more counter space as well.
Yes.
So this kind of like a three-sided or almost 3.5-sided kitchen really creates a lot more possibilities. I like that it's also tucked at the corner. Now a lot of houses, you know, the kitchen is fused with the dining.
Yes.
The kitchen is fused with the dining.
dining,
Sometimes
yes.
the living. So I think in
Yes.
traditional houses to have this kind of
Kitchen.
format.
Yes, it's
makes
more
a lot of sense.
exclusive also.
Yes,
You
and
know-
yet very open. See, again,
Yes.
I'm here, my eyes keep looking at the side because the greenery and the side of the building's architecture
Yeah.
keeps peeping at us,
Yes.
yeah, in that sense.
And actually, looking at it from a family point
Yes.
of view, if I'm a mum and I'm in the kitchen, you know, prepping something in the evening, I can always watch over my kids playing in
Yeah,
the courtyard.
that's true.
And it's so, I think it's something every
Yeah,
mum would like to.
That's true. This corner
dream
especially,
of.
again, the slanted. On this side, you can have a very good bird's eye view of what's happening outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's behind the door here? We already
so-
saw one bathroom here. This is the same bathroom that's connected to the granny's room. All right. So it's almost underutilized now. It seems that there's actually another WC cabinets here. So actually this space is quite big, right? It's quite spacious. So linked to that, helper can use this. Like I said, it's easy. If you don't want a separate one, you can actually create another bathroom just at the back of this. I think exclusively for the granny or the elderly who stay in the granny's room. Okay.
So here we also have a storeroom or a helper's room. It's well ventilated.
Wow, really very bright too.
Yes, it has 2 window panels, so it's quite bright.
Yes.
And enough wall space to keep storage as well.
Yes. So now we're coming to the yard area. We like the older houses in the sense that they are not fully maximized, and you really will appreciate. Can you see now this is almost like 4 meters, not your traditional 2 meters. So there's a lot of space. Just now behind me, you already saw ceiling is quite high, so I say in fact higher. A lot of
very
storage
high.
space at the back. Behind there is where you could actually do some extension, create a second a helper's room, another bathroom, very
Actually, you could
easily.
even extend the room to make
Yeah.
it much bigger.
Exactly. This is really well,
It's
quite
a
well
really
sheltered
huge
already.
space.
That's true.
Also, I feel, you know, many homes like to have a wet kitchen outdoor.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's enough space here to do that.
Yeah,
and
if you need a
shelter.
wet kitchen, this is the
Yeah.
ideal place,
so
right?
you can open up the
Correct.
interiors.
So if you come here now, I hope you can hear sound of birds chirping, etc. Now there's some positional or locational advantage of this plot is that you see now at the back, we're now between 2 houses at the back as well. So the front, this is facing north, this is south. This will be a permanent, what we call like an air pocket, because there will be always a setback. And if you notice, we're actually higher than the neighbor at the
Yes.
back, right? Higher than the neighbor
That's
at the
quite
back. So this gives you, I think, a better elevated view, of course, better ventilation as well.
It's quite breezy because
Yes.
of the air pocket in between the 2 homes.
True, exactly. Right, and of course at the back, just now we saw the neighbors, they kept the place very well. Even though this is not a full wall, a separator or a divider, I think I really appreciate the fact that wind can still come through. You are kind of like sharing each other's garden.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course the owners here have done their part. If you take a look, this nice vertical strip here is really, really very charming.
It's very attractive.
Yeah, that reminds you of some, some countryside garden
Yeah.
or
You
a
can
lawn.
even have a herb garden
Yeah,
here.
it's true, it's true.
So cute.
So this gives you, and if you come to this side, you can also see the architecture very clearly from here as well, right? All the little curves and turns into that, and the courtyard. Of course, that part, the courtyard, later we'll explain. It can actually be pushed up and regularized, right? Which we can show you from inside. Now let's take a second final look, walk through again. As you walk through, you'll start to remember the house is really huge on the first floor, right? Notice the walk coming all the way here. Again, this is the area where you can push this out. Later we'll show you can go all the way up to level 3. You can create a lift here if you want to as well. All right. And again, the always very comforting hallway that will bring you slowly back past one room. And I think the walk from the kitchen all the way to the front, you notice, by the way, there's no split level, right? I think this helps to make the place a lot more seamless.
Yes.
Yeah. So I hope you have enjoyed the tour of the first floor, both outside and now the interior. Shall we now pass on to Justin and Celeste for level 2?
seen how beautiful the first floor is. We're going to bring you and
Yes.
Celeste are going to bring you to the second floor, right? So you can see this when we step inside this staircase, this curve. This is hardly seen in some of the landed houses.
Correct.
Right?
I think it's very rare, and you can even see there's a very nice frosted glass here that
Yeah.
brings in a lot of natural light flowing into the staircase.
That's right. This one.
But I don't think there's a lack of natural light because of the huge windows there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think the important part is actually the staircase. A lot of times we have a lot of objections. Say
Correct.
staircase very dark.
Yeah.
Where's going to the source of light is.
Correct.
You can actually, of course, do a skylight. If not, actually, this is good enough. We have this
Correct.
window that's drawing a lot of natural lights. They go into the staircase. So the staircase is very
This
bright.
is like
very
your
lit.
own very personal foyer
Yeah.
for the second level. Yeah. And
And-
this, this level 4 apartment is actually 1,665 square feet, which is equivalent to a 4-bedroom apartment in today's condo market.
Yeah, and actually, not before we go into everything, let's put your focus into some of the details of this condition of the house.
Okay.
Right, even these tiles, they were very, very well maintained. Right, so and when we had this, actually there are two zones here. The first section we're going to see on my left hand side is actually the master bedroom, and towards the other side is actually where the other 3 bedrooms are. So first we head into the master bedroom first.
Yes.
Excited to see. So come on inside. Once you enter, you actually can feel that it's actually high ceiling. Very high ceiling, and it's very wide. So to give you a bit context, this master bedroom is about 437 square
100.
feet.
Oh, yes, that's actually the size of a 1-bedroom condo
Yes.
now in today's market also.
Yeah. Look at this one. This is actually a queen size bed.
Yeah, but I'm very sure that you can fit a king or super king size bed if you want to.
That's right. And with 2 side table, there's no issue because of the space that you have.
Yes.
And on this level, I like the little bit of like uniqueness about this arch.
Yes.
You know, you can put a little bit of the dressing table or even some table that put your stuff over here, the bookshelf and all that. Yeah. So we have windows everywhere, so that's why the whole house is so bright. And look at this parking again. This is very well maintained, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And on this right hand side was the wardrobes, right?
Yeah.
So you can actually easily convert it into whatever wardrobes you want. If not, they can keep it as it is. It's more earthy and it's give you.
This wood was very popular back then. It's very
Yeah.
sturdy also.
That's right.
And you find that this is not enough space for you. You can even have the option of extending your own wardrobe here.
Over
Yeah.
this side, yeah. So this where at my back is actually the master bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's come inside and have a look at this master bedroom.
Bathroom. This master bathroom is actually very
bathroom.
spacious. You can see the very beautiful toilet tiles. They are green.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were mentioning green in the past was like a color of wealth, you know.
The jade, right?
Yeah, because it's
The
like
green
jade,
jade,
yeah, green jade color.
Yeah. So the seller is actually very house proud, so that's why they maintain the house very, very well.
Yeah, and this house is also very underutilized. They don't even live on this level.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's why when we walk through, we are seeing, wow, we were really quite surprised and impressed.
Correct.
And intrigued to see, wow, the house is really, really well
I mean, you really
maintained.
have to see for yourself.
That's right, you have to come and see, right?
Yeah.
So you got the RSVP,
Correct.
limited slot. Okay, now then actually, once again, before we head out, right, take a look at this big, spacious master bedroom
Yeah,
again.
you can even
Yeah.
stretch your hands out.
Exactly, you can't even,
Yeah.
even if I stand there, we probably barely can.
Yeah, correct.
right?
Both of us can't even
Correct,
like.
this is the width of the master bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So heading up from the master bedroom, where we are now is the aisles. Even for this aisles, they have a very good size. The width is actually my arm's length, both arms when I stretch out. Also very high ceiling.
About
So
3.9 meters.
3.9 meter,
Yeah.
that's right. And also of that, I put some bookshelf here. There are still plenty of space for me to walk around.
Correct.
So this feels very, very spacious and a very, how to put it, a very bright as well because I got lights from the window side.
Yeah, and you can even put like some paintings or art pieces here to make your house more cozy.
That's
I mean, you
right.
can see the tiles and the walls are all cream colored, making it very, very pastel, very
Yeah,
calm and
it's
serene
matched.
vibes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now come inside for this second bedrooms.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to use the same words again, the spacious, generous in size because in fact it is, right? Do you
Yes,
feel that? Come inside
definitely.
here, you can have like queen size, king size, super king size beds here.
Yeah.
Because we already got wardrobe space on that side.
Correct.
And
You can even turn this into your family area, your entertainment area, or
Yeah.
games room, or even a study room or office for those that work from home.
That's right. And talking about office, right? Nowadays a lot of people work from home.
Correct. Yeah.
And when work from home, I like to have bright. I like to have lights. I
Natural
don't want to be in
sunlight
a very
coming in.
exactly. So we have
Yeah.
all these window panel. They're actually drawing a lot of natural lights
Yes.
to this room.
Yeah.
Now, then if you back to the outside, the house again, before we head into the rooms, at the back, I'm going to keep you in suspense a little bit. Now, you have this very nice family cozy area here,
Yes.
which some of the houses are actually in shortage. Come sit down.
Correct.
Actually, when you sit down, you can see, look up the high ceiling, you feel very cozy, right?
Yes,
Imagine that
correct.
having a cup of tea, we chit chat with your friends over
Yeah,
here.
correct.
It's
So why we say this feels like a 4-bedroom apartment is because you have your own living area and your own dining area right there, which I'll show you in a while. So this area, maybe you can turn it into your own dining area. You can put a very big round table, or you can, and then your family area, your sofa can be here.
Yep.
Or you have the option of just like
Correct.
turn this to a family room.
Exactly. So there are many options for you.
Yeah,
It's
correct.
creativity is just the limit of the limit that you can
Correct.
actually turn
Yes,
these
yes,
room
yes.
spaces into. Now let's walk on. Even from this side, I would actually convert this into maybe a bar counter.
Oh,
you know, I
yes,
can do a
yes.
bar counter here. So it shows how spacious this even living family space is.
Correct.
Yeah. And entering into this space, I would actually probably put a counter island over here, or maybe do a
Very
dry
nice.
kitchen, right?
Yeah, and here can be your pantry area and your mini kitchenette. This is why we say this is a complete 4-bedroom
That's
condo
right.
or apartment for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And-
you even can put this like can do some light cooking here and host your guests and friends and family on the
Exactly,
second
at this
level.
level, right?
Yeah, I think this piece of kitchenette is very interesting and very unique because right you can have the privacy of like just living alone just on this level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-sufficiency.
Yeah,
right?
self-sufficiency, correct.
That's right.
the word.
And I would actually do a glass door here, so I can enclose this kitchen. Like looking out, right? This is where the window is. You can see there's a pocket of like view from here. It's really unblocked, so that's why the whole unit is very bright, even at this kitchen level, right?
And you can tell that we are actually elevated. We are higher than our neighbor right there.
Yeah.
Because we can overlook their rooftop here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of the setback, the house is not fully maximized, so we have a lot of gap. So distance away from the neighbors actually is
correct.
further, right? So after this, we are going to show you more rooms. Like at the back of me is actually 2 bedrooms and a common bath here. Now let me first show you these bedrooms. I like this bedroom because first of all, it's actually very exclusive, like towards the end of the whole stretch. And honestly speaking, to find 4 bedrooms on one single floor is not a lot, and especially the rooms are actually very sizable. I like this view. Again, it's very similar to where you see from the kitchen. It's unblocked, right? It's not blocked, so that's why I have this very clear view from this side as well. So I would personally maybe would turn this as my office room because actually it's very cozier. I got also lights and from there, yeah, from both sides of the room. And let's show you the last room.
Yes, so this is the last bedroom of the house, the 4th bedroom. Look at how big and spacious it is. You can even fit your own king-size bed here. And then there's a lot of natural light flowing in from all the windows over here also. Yeah. So you also have the option of building a wall here with a door to make this a second junior ensuite. You can hack down this wall and this turns into a very big master bedroom, a second master bedroom. Yes.
Celeste, I'm here.
Hi.
Back to the family. Hi.
Yes.
So talking about that, you can actually, now we have 4 bedrooms, you can turn to 3 bedrooms, master
Oh,
and junior
yes,
master,
correct.
right? So actually before we head down, there are some, I'm just thinking like, you want to make this a future-proof house, you can, right? So right at my back here, so what happens is you can actually do a lift. When you install a lift outside, right, this is where the landing of the lift here.
Oh yeah,
for the
because you
second
can
floor.
extend the house setback because it's not fully maximized yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, yes.
Oh yeah,
So-
so shall we join Willie and Tina downstairs to talk more about the potential of this house?
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
After the comprehensive house tour earlier, I'm sure many of you viewers out there will agree with us that actually the current space, okay, that just one of this semi provides, actually is more than sufficient for most families with more than 4,200 square feet of built-up space, 6+1 rooms, 4 bathrooms, 3 car parks. Actually, it's more than sufficient. But remember, we said there are different types of profiles. If you, for example, have a different idea of how to enhance the space, not just for one, but for both houses, we have actually prepared the following enhancements options, right? Ranging from renovation to A&A, which is addition and alteration. And that we have 2 parts. One is retaining a 2-story structure. One is to build a 3rd story. And of course, a complete rebuild. So let's come and take a look now.
Should you require more space within the existing 2-story structure, you can also undergo an A&A project like this. In this professionally prepared proposal, the living hall is expanded to almost double the current size, and all the 4 bedrooms on level 2 will come with attached bathrooms. If you prefer a different layout for the living halls, the staircase can be realigned to the side too.
The current sturdy structure is also suitable for a more extensive reconstruction by adding a 3rd story above the existing 2 stories. This is where a relaxing pool in the garden and a grand master suite with more than 1,300 square foot of space can be created. This expansive bedroom includes a walk-in wardrobe, entertainment room, and rooftop garden, making this truly an envy amongst many neighbors in Katong.
Lastly, if you are purely buying this land for rebuilding a brand new detached, this rebuilding concept not only tempt you, but also your neighbors in this estate.
A design that has never been seen in Katong or even entire Singapore, with 2 annexes, more than 15,000 square feet of built-up area, over 4 levels of modern living space. Among the outstanding features are a gorgeous wraparound pool and a basement car park with 4 to 6 sheltered lots, all of which are designed for multi-generation luxurious living lifestyles.
After this comprehensive exploration of this Katong landed gem, we hope you are inspired by these various exciting and enviable possibilities that most, if not all, normal landed properties can't offer.
After a preview last week to our exclusive client database, this house has now been open to our viewers, followers, and public all throughout July with open houses happening.
If you're keen to find out more, feel free to contact any of us or your preferred HLD landed consultant to RSVP for a limited number of slots.
We also like to take this opportunity to also remind you of our quarterly consumer webinar on 2024 Quarter 2 Landed Market Analysis coming up on the 16th of July at 8 p.m. For the registration link, just continue to follow us on our social media for more information. Once again, my name is Willie.
I'm Tina.
I'm Celeste.
And I'm Justin.
See you at the next episode of Huttons Landed Division's
Live Open House.